Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jay. So today we're going to be talking about the Chanel Classic Flap. This is the medium size in caviar, so pretty much a holy grail. This was on my list for many years, as I'm sure is the case for many people out there. Unfortunately, with the price rises and Chanel's just gone absolutely crazy, it's becoming harder and harder to obtain one. I will say though, I bought mine from Fashionphile. It's been a little bit, so sorry, I've had to kind of think about it a little bit. And I haven't tried this, but I want to do this with one of the minis. I'd love to have a silver rectangular mini in my collection. This is pretty much my only classic flap right now. So I think one thing that you could do, and I've done a little bit of research on it, but not fully, is buy a vintage version, or buy one that, could use a little bit of love, and then send it to a service like Leather Surgeons or basically a handbag spa, and pay less. So ranging from, I think, $100, $300, even less. It really depends on the repairs that you need. And then get back a bag. So I haven't tried that yet. I'm not gonna say outright like, hey, go do that if this is really on your list. But I feel like that's like one workaround that you could do. And there are definitely other videos out there, blogs, people who have plenty of experience with it. So that, I guess, would be one of my suggestions. The other would definitely just you just have to keep looking for it. It almost becomes this like crazy hobby in a sense, and it's embarrassing to say, but that's what I did. I searched for this for the longest time, and Fashionphile, I think, can be a little bit more expensive compared to like Vester Collective or other places. But I do think that the quality check is maybe a bit higher than, let's say, like the Real or something like that, because this was marked as excellent, and the puffiness has gone down a little bit. There's really not that many scratches on the hardware. It's like hairline, and there's a little bit of creasing here, but this, I've noticed that even the newer ones tend to get the creasing very quickly, probably due to just quality control and things like that. And we all know what the story like horror stories, I guess, about Chanel quality going downhill while prices go up. So anyways, I'm not going to keep kind of talking circles around this, but I think in terms of wear and tear, I have to admit I haven't worn this out too much. So it's been about almost 2 years now since I've had this, and because it's caviar, and due to the pandemic, there just haven't been a lot of occasions to take it out. I do also tend to baby bags as well though. So I, will definitely be more conscious if I do take it out. The occasions that I have taken it out are really like very, very special occasions. And to be honest, again, maybe a little embarrassing to say, but I mean, it's COVID, so what can you do? I kind of took it out to like just a family dinner. We all dressed up, and it was 5 of us at my parents' place, and you know, you gotta do what you can. But anyways, so yeah, overall, I think I know I'm very lucky and very privileged to have been able to snag one. When I was looking for this at the time, you know, I knew that the prices were, you know, going up every year. You know, that's to be expected. I could never have imagined just the prices that Chanel is charging now. I think that if I started to look for this even like last year, I just don't think that I would have been able to score a bag. So again, I'm very lucky. I really wish the best for everyone out there who, you know, has this on their wish list, because you know, there was some time where, so I got the Saint Laurent Kate bag, and that will be in a separate video, but you know, it's kind of like, because Saint Laurent is doing such great quality work with their bags that it was almost like, you know what, and the quality is just like impeccable. So kind of thought maybe I'd be okay with just more Saint Laurent bags. Once I did receive this though, I was kind of like, okay, I get it. Not fully like eat my words, but yeah, come hell or high water, I think I would definitely gonna have this forever. If I have a daughter, or you know, just later down the line, I would love to kind of keep this and gift it as like an heirloom or something like that. So anyways, done rambling. Let's get on to now what can, you know, fit. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this part relatively quickly just because there's so many videos out there that already, you know, show what can fit, but I'm just gonna do my version because I have different, you know, items. So I do have an insert. It's from Etsy, and mostly I have it in here. I'm gonna actually just take the whole thing out because you can see the insert really helps the bag keep its structure. But with the insert, and I think it's this one in particular, because the felt is more thick than perhaps some other ones. Even though it's not like super thick, but you can definitely find, I think, thinner ones or ones that have like less sections. So I actually don't use this when I'm using the bag, which is probably counterintuitive. I always say, I'm like, I'm gonna look for a different one, but I just kind of never get around to it. I think because you just don't have as many occasions to wear this out right now. But, so I'm gonna set this out just so that you can get like an actual idea of what fits in there. Okay, so obviously we've got the double flap. I've got the card in here, so I'm gonna take that out. And then, you know, the slots here. Again, I think part of my philosophy when it comes to using luxury bags, I am definitely a fan of the idea of, you know, cost per wear, and really trying to make the most of the purchase that you have. But I'm trying to balance that with also knowing just, you know, it is an investment in terms of the amount of money that you put into it. I'm not sure, you know, I know there's a lot of debate about are bags investments. Maybe. I think of it as, if you consider it an investment, it's because you will be wearing it for a long time. I'm not in the group of people that like really love to use bags and then resell them and to get, you know, new bags. I just don't have the stamina for that, to be honest. So I admire people who could really kind of jump on different trends and find different, you know, items that they love. But anyways, going off track here. But so yeah, in general, I think I tell myself, or just, it's not even tell myself, I just know in my head, I'm gonna be going out. Obviously I've picked out this bag with an outfit because I just think that it's going to be a special occasion. This is also definitely more of just a special occasion bag for me. And so I'm much more mindful of what I put in. And therefore I just tend not to carry a lot for special occasions in general, because it's just, you know, I don't want to be too focused on, oh, you know, is this going to explode in my bag? Or like, you know, just, I don't want to, I guess in a sense, fill my head with a lot of extra thoughts, because I think a lot, it's like too much already. So anyways, but for the purposes of this video, sorry, I keep rambling, but we're gonna obviously start with the phone, because that tends to be the thing that we're all using nowadays. And I'm gonna stand up, because the way this is all set up, it's hard for me to see. So I've got the phone here, and then I've got my wallet, my key holder, and then, yeah, so already I would say these three are always just like the top things that I have. If I can only comfortably fit these three, I'm fine with it. If it's a special occasion, of course you can think about, you know, do you want to touch your makeup or things like that? But I don't know, I have an interesting personality where it's like, I've never been super into beauty, and so if I've done my makeup, then I'm done for the night. So I don't know, but let's just say for the sake, I would definitely recommend like a little pouch, probably not a full makeup pouch, but I would normally not put this just straight up in here, but again, just to see what fits. You can fit a compact. So I think I would actually move the key holder like that. It's upside down, but whatever. And then again, you've still got some room in there, and maybe like a lipstick. Like that. And the pocket's here, and then the pocket here. So this, as you might have seen in other videos, it doesn't really open up that much. So even a phone, I don't like to put my phone in there for too long, because I feel like it'll stretch it out too much. So tend to just keep it in here, or just keep it in here, because then it's just easier to get in. I tend to not close this all the way, because you can see already that it's kind of definitely finding a spot. So yeah, I tend to just kind of keep it open. I try to keep it loose overall, and then that's pretty much what I would put in there. You could definitely try to fit in more if you want. Again, I'm pretty minimal, so if I have a bigger bag, you know, I'll have maybe hand sanitizer, AirPods, tissue, lotion, things like that. So nothing too crazy. Again, I feel like if I'm gonna take this out to a certain occasion, I want to be present. I want to, again, be focused on what's going on in real time rather than fussing over my baby or one of the babies. So yeah, so that's just a really quick overview. So final thoughts. If you can get your hands on one, I really, really wish you the best. And I don't say that like sarcastically, it kind of like, haha, I have one, you know. No, I spent a long time wishing for this bag. I, kept saving up, and, the frustration when there's a price increase and you can't, you have to save for longer, and you get into your own head where it's like, at what point is it worth it? And so I think it's really come to a point where if it's worth it, you are the only person that can obviously say that, right? If I say it's worth it, it may not be, your answer or what other people around you tell you. If you really want it, but, the price is just not what you love, as I said, again, I think that one, there's probably more options in Europe, specifically France, probably because that's obviously where the fashion house is from. So you may have a better chance, again, with COVID and travel and all of that, if you are able to travel to Europe. I've heard and know people who have had a much more easier time scoring a classic flap, especially, consignment stores and just kind of, doing their own research. So that's one way. The other way is the one that I, mentioned at the very beginning of this video. Again, not saying that, like, I always, in a way, like, gulped at paying, like, $5,000 or more for a very beat up bag, because it's kind of like, why would I pay that much money for something that just is gonna need refurbishment, I guess, in a way. But again, if it's worth it to you, where you can find a pre-loved piece that, again, obviously has a lot of love in it, then I think that being able to, take it to an expert that can breathe some life back into the bag is really one way you could go. At some point down the line, I think that is my plan for a mini flap, because I want a mini flap in lambskin. And lambskin, I think even fresh from the boutique, can have its own issues. Even caviar has its own issues, but at least it's, in a sense, more hard wearing. So again, those were, I guess, would be 2 tips. I'm not sure how helpful they are, but 2 recommendations. The third, I think, is, and it's not fun, to just keep saving up, I kind of just am in the mindset where you shouldn't feel ashamed for what you want. If you've worked hard for it, you are saving up for something. I will say, just, as an aside, and I know this is like a generalization, but I think women, or those who identify as female, we are very hard on ourselves sometimes, and we always have to wonder, like, am I worth doing this, or feeling guilty because of something that you accomplished, or because you got something that you wanted. And I think society, even the loved ones around you, they can make you seem like you're crazy, because, and you might even be doubting yourself too, because it's like, why are you spending, you know, who knows, at some point, as much as like $10,000 for a used Chanel bag? But, you know, there are people that will spend like upwards of millions of dollars, you know, for something that they think is worth it. As long as you have, you know, the funds for it, you know, don't go out and buy this because you can't afford it. That's not, you know, what anybody would want. But just to keep saving for it. And I think, honestly, even if Chanel is like selling this for $15,000 in like 2 years, I just don't think that that's sustainable. I think eventually they're going to price themselves out, or they'll have to lower their prices, or, you know, again, just there's going to be different options out there. So anyways, I'll just end it here with saying that if you want it and you have put a goal in your mind to keep saving for it, or you want to, you know, maybe even gift it to somebody, that's your prerogative. You know, it's your money. You can do what you want with it. Obviously with families and relationships, you know, you want to have those open conversations. But don't feel guilty, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I've been there. I definitely felt guilty at first getting this. And sometimes I am still kind of like, oh, why, you know, I'm carrying this around, and, you know, I could have given that to a charity, you know, things like that. You know, it's always good to check yourself, but, you know, at the end of the day, just be kind, I think, to yourself and to people around you. So yeah, I'll end it there. A long rant there, but please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I tend to be, I think, a better writer than a speaker, but I'm working on it. So thank you so much for watching.